Hey there. Well, first of all, I'm very disappointed that Drake did not perform. He came on stage to talk about the new Apple Music service, but unfortunately, no performance from Drake. We did get a pretty good performance, though, from Jimmy Iovine, the co-founder of Beats, came on stage, and he had perhaps the most magical presence of everyone at the keynote today. Tim Cook, as he introduced Jimmy Iovine, said one more thing, and then Jimmy Iovine came on and said three more things, invoking some of Jobs' famous words. Apple Music, it's interesting. It seems like Apple's trying to be a lot in one. You can buy, you can stream, it's a radio service, and they're also trying to be a social network. There may be a few services out there that do this already, but again, Apple isn't always first and certainly not last. But Apple's certainly trying to revolutionize how we listen to music. This global Beats One radio service will be on all the time, curated by human beings. In fact, one thing that they did say on stage is that internet radio isn't really radio. It's just lists of songs. This Apple radio service is going to be curated by real human DJs. $9.99 a month, $14.99 for a family plan. First 3 months are free.
Yeah, Emily, let's talk about that pricing. I was emailing with John Butler of Bloomberg Intelligence, and he said, look, is $10 a month enough to compete with Spotify? That is free. Is it enough to distinguish Apple Music from a Me Too product that it could also be?
You know, we don't know. I mean, as you said earlier, 30 million songs, that certainly sounds like a lot of songs. It's not top-tier artists. They're really reaching out across the music community. But there are other options out there. I mean, you can listen to Pandora for free. Why would I want to listen to a global radio service that isn't exactly music of my choosing? Pandora lets me choose and curate my own radio station. So there certainly are a lot of questions around this service, but it's definitely Apple taking a huge leap in terms of, you know, this is the business that they revolutionized in the beginning, but iTunes has become, you know, a laggard in this business, and Apple is trying to now get out front of the business that it started. One of the other interesting things that we had here today, not just what news was presented, but who was presenting that news. We saw the first two women presenters on stage, two Apple executives, Susan Prescott introducing Apple's new news application, and Jennifer Bailey introducing new features for Apple Pay. So certainly that is a sign of Tim Cook. This is a guy who cares a lot about diversity, a lot about social progress, putting women on stage. And that was another thing that got a lot of applause here at the keynote today.
Yes, I love that. If you had to pick one thing that sort of had or maybe a lackluster response, Emily, what was it?
There were a few lackluster responses throughout the show. I mean, we saw a lot of refinements, updates to iOS. You know, we saw them unveil iOS 9, the new OS 10 operating system software, El Capitan, multitasking on the iPad. A lot of these little things that Apple is attempting to sort of refine the experience and loop all of the things that we do with our Apple products together. The watch was definitely a lot of interesting stuff coming out with regard to the watch and watch kit, and it just goes to show just how fast things can develop and move when it comes to software. Developers can now natively produce apps on the watch, which means it doesn't have to rely on your phone, so the experience is much more efficient, much more quick. There's a lot of futuristic stuff out there. One day my watch may be able to control all of the appliances in my house. Not quite there yet, but that's certainly the future that they are hoping to move us toward.